Hi everyone, welcome to a new video, Applied Data Science, and in this video we will talk about forecasting and lost opportunities. What if I told you that your business could be losing 40% of its profits and not even know that? That's exactly what happens when companies only look at what they sold instead of what the market actually wanted. In this video, we are diving into applied data science playlist that specifically related to forecasting supply and demand and lost opportunities. We will break down what unconstrained demand really means, why most forecasting models get it wrong, and how data scientists use KPIs, business metrics, and the sequence of why to bridge the gap between what users want and what business deliver. Whether you are just getting into data science path or you are already working with real world data, this one's going to change how you think about forecasting. Let's dive into it. We'll start by forecasting what users want. Forecasting is basically an analysis based on historical data. The company constructs forecasting systems to fulfill the user needs, and that will reflect positively on the business growth and its market position by enhancing the user's experience. And as a data scientist, your role involves dealing with millions of users' data to make the two ends meet. And there are three features when it comes to what are the users' needs. Number one, satisfactory quality items, affordable prices, and customer support. That's the three primary features we have in mind while designing our models. When we talk about forecasting, it's important to highlight demand and supply. Forecasting is crucial to understand on a large scale the demand and supply, what the business offers, services, and what the users are looking for. Forecasting can be many things. It can be searching for new opportunities, expanding in new markets, places, or areas, or even launching new products or services. Forecasting can also be solving a repeated user problem. So, important questions or meaningful questions we can ask. Why do we need to forecast? What problem do we want to solve? Who will use this forecasting model? What business decisions are we supporting via this forecasting? How do we measure the forecasting outcomes? And what are the business KPIs associated with this forecasting or analysis? Moving on to unconstrained demand. So demand represents the volume of buying requests the user would buy if we have infinite supply inventory. And when it comes to the constrained demand, we can start by defining what the users want, how much do they want, and when they want it. Then we can cluster the users' needs and align their needs with what the business offers. Back in 2020, when companies decided to work from home, people in New York decided to terminate the leases and buy houses in more suitable, affordable areas. They focused on countryside and suburbs area. So we can say that we have unconstrained demand for this areas, countryside houses and suburb apartments. Then we have the lost opportunities. The lost opportunities when we deduct demand from supply. Actual sales or actual supply represents the actual profits after users complete the transaction successfully. We can set an example here. If we have 1,000 individuals in KYZ town, search it our website to buy a new neon winter jacket on release day. So the company manufactured 600 only, and the actual sales will be 600 jackets. If the company only looked at the actual sales, they might think that the market looks great because we have achieved 100% profits. We manufactured 600 jackets and we sold 600 jackets. By looking at the demand, they noticed that we missed 40% of potential profit. 1,000 individuals searched for 1,000 jackets. So deducting 1,000 from 600, we have 40% potential profits. Without the constrained demand, the true market potentially stays hidden. So, in conclusion, don't forecast what you think you will sell. Instead, forecast what the market wants. When it comes to strategies when navigating the business objectives and business metrics, I like this strategy, the sequence of why. It's a strategy to help us define business objectives, business metrics, analysis types. Analysis types will come later. I will cover it in the next video. Then we can construct the suitable AI model. We can think of this strategy as a Y funnel. So we can compare, so the business metrics measures how realistic our forecasting to predictions, to the real world numbers. Remember that forecasting is prediction into the future, and we use historical data to do that. So we can't really rely on this forecasting 100%. And instead, we can support our forecasting model with different baseline or benchmarks, such as competitors' benchmark, or compare the forecasting analysis that we have to the last 2-quarter ratios, or even compare it with the agreed management targets. And remember, metrics come before analysis. So we set the business objectives, then the metrics, and then the analysis. And between all the 3 benchmarks, I like to highlight that the competitor benchmark is usually approximate. The more precise baseline here is the last 2-quarter ratios because it's based on the company sales. And the last slide, we cover it with a practical example, loyalty program. We have loyal users that represent more stable stream of revenue, and it's much harder to acquisition a new user. What we can say here about what objectives do we have? If we are going to apply the Y sequence strategy, we can create, say, we want to create a loyalty program. Then ask ourselves why? Because we want to reward our loyal users. Then why? Because we want to decrease the churning rate. Then why? Because it's harder to acquire a new user and it's much easier to make or give an existing user a loyal program or marketing offer or discounts. That's the Y funnel, and that can help us to set business objectives and business metrics before starting with the analysis and machine learning model and deployment, etc. etc. Another solid strategies we can think of here, the value tier strategy, profitable users versus potential profitable users, and RFM strategy, recency, frequency, and monetary value. And that's it for today. Thank you so much. And yeah, subscribe for more meaningful content, and I see you in the next video. Bye.